Yes.
This is the Samsung. Okay, wait. Let's not start on a down note here. We do want to give it its day. This is the Samsung Galaxy Grand Prime. Or what is this?
So it's like it's a mouthful of terribleness already in the name, right? So just a bit of history. The Galaxy Grand, back in the day when you had like 4.5, 4.7-inch flagship phones, that phone came out as a mid-range, large screen phone that to kind of match the flagships, but not in terms of specs, right? And so then Samsung had a whole thing of they're adding Prime to phones that were slightly improved over the previous year. And so now we have the disaster of a phone that's 5 inches, which is pretty much standard, par for the course to even in the mid-range, that is called Grand, but is no longer really Grand, and is Prime because it's been slightly improved over last year's Sprint model. So this is on Sprint, just
This sounds like a study group gone wrong. It's like, well, what words sound best? Let's put them all together.
Correct.
Okay.
And so this is available on Sprint in the US today for about $239 off contract. You know, let's walk through what it is and what. So it looks very much like the industrial design of Samsung's Joire.
All plastic. It's all plastic.
It's all plastic. Removable back cover. Removable battery, 2600 milliamp hour, micro SD under there, which you're going to need because there's only 8 gigs of built-in storage. Yes. Ouch.
Wow. Okay.
And as you can see, everything, even the fake metal on the edges, it kind of looks like a Galaxy S5 or Galaxy S4 or Galaxy S2, any Galaxy past, basically. So not too many points in terms of industrial, which is what I'd like to call it the Toyota Corolla of phones, because it's very competent, but extremely kind of generic. It just fits in.
That's not a bad thing, right? Like, I mean, sometimes you don't need a phone that's excellent if it's going to be at a good price point and you get something that's decent in
So in terms of industrial design, if you want a phone that really flies under the radar, nobody will notice, this is the phone. So very beige in that sense.
Okay.
But this would all be great. But unfortunately, spec-wise, this phone just doesn't live up to what's available today in that price range.
All right, so what does it have?
So it has a 5-inch display, but you think most devices in that price point are 720p today,
dim.
right?
Is that
First of all,
just dimmed down?
It's super dim. It has no auto brightness. Okay.
Okay.
And secondly, it's a QHD, not large Q, small Q.
Right.
So 540 by 960 pixels on a 5-inch display.
Wait, what?
Ouch, right?
No.
It's an LCD also. It's not an AMOLED. As you know, Samsung's AMOLEDs, even at low dot per inch, are pretty decent. So this thing looks kind of meh.
But LCD does do better than OLED outdoors.
Not really with this one.
Really?
As you see, this is maximum brightness. We're indoors. And it doesn't do auto brightness.
So they managed to get not as high a resolution, not as high of a brightness as an OLED, but it still doesn't get the outdoor advantage.
Honestly, is a display worthy of a $100 phone. Yeah. It is that bad.
Okay.
Viewing angles, as you can see, are non-existent.
What about the other specs? So I know 8 gigabytes of memory.
8 gigabytes
what about the processor?
1 gig of RAM. Snapdragon 410, which is a pretty decent processor. It's a really solid mid-ranger. That's what the Moto G has. That's what a bunch of the mid-range phones has. In the back is an 8-megapixel autofocus camera with an LED flash, and you see the speaker here. You know, you have the usual stuff, a power lock key here, a little thing to put your finger to pull the cover off.
It seems a little thick for
It is pretty thick. It's like 9 millimeters, almost centimeter. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, volume rocker, and micro USB charge and data. So pretty much standard stuff all the way around. It's got a 5-megapixel selfie front cam, which is nice. And lo and behold, you know how we've been complaining about the lack of NFC even on the OnePlus 2 and on the Moto G and on a whole bunch of phones that are mid-range. This has an NFC for some reason.
I don't understand that. Why would you take that feature off of some of your flagships and then put it into your low end?
Well, Samsung always has NFC pretty much. But it's interesting to me that this phone, after all the complaining we've done about the lack of NFC recently, does have it.
NFC.
What else? I mean, you know, it's on Sprint, so it's got LTE on Sprint, Wi-Fi, BGP.
Decent processor, so it's got to feel good.
It feels competent. It's got TouchWiz as the UI, as you can see here. It's a little heavy-handed. It's the old version of TouchWiz. It does. One advantage is it does run a more recent version of Android, which is nice. I think it's like 5 point something.
Is this going to be available in all bands in the United States?
No, this is Sprint only.
This is
so
Sprint
it's you know, got weird LTE on weird bands and CDMA. You can't unlock it. So here's the thing. You're going to say Moto G, right? Well, Moto G can't work on Sprint, so you're kind of stuck a little bit. But here's the thing. The Aquos Crystal from Sharp came out last year. Look at this thing. with a 720p 5-inch panel that is completely edgeless. Brian, can you give us some other photos of it if you can find some? There you go. Look at that sexiness. Okay?
And what's the price on that?
Guess what? Same processor, 1.5 gigs of RAM, still only 8 gigs of storage, but micro SD, a bigger battery, a better camera, better display, and the same exact price on Sprint.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Why would you buy this?
Unless you're really sold on the Samsung name, or you really like that combination of Galaxy
display.
Grand Prime.
It is so bright. It's IPS. It's one of the brightest and nicest displays, and it's complete edgeless, which looks really sci-fi. Now,
I see
it has no NFC. So, boom, huh?
Okay, so that's, if you really want NFC, this is your phone.
This is the phone on Sprint for $239.
Okay, break it down for me. Give me the pros and the cons.
Look, it's hard to break down a turd, but
whoa!
Look, you know, it's like, this is nothing personal. I think obviously Sprint has some good choices. We've gone over them. Just Samsung hasn't tried with this, and I don't think they care. I think for them, they're just pushing their brand out. There's really nothing about this phone that I really like. The only thing it has is NFC in that price range. So that's a pro. And then the processor is actually quite decent. That's also a pro. But everything else is a con. And to me, the biggest cons are the display and, you know, the look and feel. To me, honestly, so many phones at that price point are better made and feel nicer and the materials look better that you just, I don't want to go there, right?
Now, if they were to say drop the price on this phone by $100, does it then become viable?
Then it's absolutely viable.
Okay. So it's a decent phone, as you said. It's the Corolla.
It's perfectly serviceable.
But not
this phone
price.
will probably drop really well and survive. You know, probably splashes in the water even. It's not water resistant or anything. But I think it's going to be rugged. It's going to get the job done. It's got all the basic things you need. You can watch videos at, you know, well, I guess not at HD because the screen isn't HD. So I was going to say you can watch HD videos. They'll be downscaled.
No, not really.
So look,
wait, I have to ask this. Is this a buy, try, or don't buy this turd?
Look, it's a don't buy because it's like there's no even A for effort here. It's like either lower the price to this. It should be 99 contract free, and then it would fly off the shelves. But I think it's regrettable. I just wish that, you know, I know Samsung can do so much better. So that's why I'm hard on them, because they're, you know, look at what they've done with the Note 5, the GS6 recently. Absolutely gorgeous phones. You're going to say they're super expensive. Why not take all this effort, cut a few corners, and bring it down to this magical, sweet $200 to $300 price point that everybody,
Maybe
right?
if they drop NFC, it'll take $100 off the price.
Everybody is fighting in right now.
Right. There you go. There you have it. Myriam Joire, our phone expert. Unfortunately, the Toyota Corolla of new phones, the Samsung Galaxy Grand Prime.
Grand Prime, yeah, it's
Grand
hard.
Prime is a don't buy. Now, if they drop this $100, you will change that to buy.
I would say try, because I'd have to evaluate what else is on Sprint at that price point, right?
Yeah. And if it comes free, then
yeah, I mean, look, if you, for some reason, are into contracts, which, you know, I'm always assuming, everything about this show is, I assume you guys are some tech-savvy, nerdy folk, and you're not going to get a contract. You're going to try to avoid a contract at all costs. To me, and more people even buy their phones now contract-free, even though they have the option of a contract, which is smart. Finally, we're getting to the point where people are realizing they're going to save money over time by upfronting the cost of their phone. But I wouldn't upfront the cost of that phone.
Right. If you're going to upfront the cost, go buy yourself that Sharp phone.
That Sharp phone is really awesome. On Sprint, it's one of my favorite choices right now.
There you have it. Myriam Joire. Of course, you're going to find her here on the TWiT TV network, always on Before You Buy. Anytime we have a new phone, we have to bring her in. Also on All About Android, you're a regular guest.
I'll be there on Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
We're going to talk OnePlus 2 and Note 5, of course.
Yeah, big phone news. But of course, if they want to find your other work, where do they go?
So my Twitter handle should be on the bottom there somewhere. It's Tankgrl, TNKGRL. Think of the comic book character, drop the vowels, and you'll find me on the internet. Basically, that's where my Twitter is. A bunch of my other handles. I didn't get it everywhere, but it's pretty close. And my blog is tankgrl.com, TNKGRL.com. I do a podcast there. If you want more phone, you want to hear more of my madness, God forbid, you never know, go there.
We always need more madness. Myriam, it is always an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you for your insight and for holding on to the Corolla for us.
Yeah, it's no worries. I mean, you know, that's what you do. You review phones. There you go, guys.